Good day. I'm Milt Schoen, and welcome to America Salutes. America salutes its veterans. Today we have Todd Kubinski, who is the Scott County Veteran Service Officer and the President of the Minnesota Association of County Veteran Service Officers, as our guest. Todd, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you, Milt. Thanks for having me here today. I've been in the business as either an assistant or a CVSO for the last 11 some years. I started out actually working for you at Hennepin County. Great training ground, by the way. And that was in 2000. Yes, it was. In 2005, I accepted the position as director at Scott County as the County Veteran Service Officer. And just this past year at our annual conference, I was elected as the president of our association.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about the association? There are county veteran service officers that serve every county in Minnesota?
That's correct. The Minnesota Association of County Veteran Service Officers began at the end of World War II. And the state had passed into law a mandate that every county has at least one county veteran service officer to assist veterans with obtaining benefits either from the state or from the federal government. Right now, all 87 counties are representative. We have 107 county veteran service officers currently enrolled in our association. Our goal is to provide training to the county veteran service officers to make sure that they maintain minimal standards of knowledge and expertise in their field, and also to support legislation that benefits veterans throughout the state.
And on the training end of it, we've got some of the best trained county veteran service officers in the country. That our service officers attend National Association of County Veteran Service Officers training, and we have to have a core curriculum each year to maintain that certification and ability to serve our veterans.
Yeah, that's correct. A couple of years ago, we decided as an association to adopt the National Association standards for training and accreditation. What that does is it gives us a national curriculum to train off of. Everybody in the state has been through the school. We are now at a certain minimal level of training and knowledge, and because of that, we have the ability to have any veteran go into any office throughout the state that they live in. They're going to get the same basic level of service, which is something, it was a piece that we had been missing up until recently. So we're really excited about what we've done with that.
Very good. And one of the things when you represent a statewide organization is you find that needs are a little bit different in various parts of the state. And in interacting with the VA, your county service officers have to be able to work with the Fargo VA Medical Center, the Sioux Falls Medical Center, St. Cloud, Minneapolis, and a whole variety of community-based outpatient clinics. You want to say a little bit about that?
Absolutely. The VA healthcare system is a self-contained system. We have 4 major hospitals that we do business with. We have the Minneapolis VA Medical Center, St. Cloud, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Fargo, North Dakota. We're in what they call a catchment area. So Minnesota veterans actually travel to some of these other states depending on their location to obtain services. As well as those medical centers, there are a number of what they call community-based outpatient clinics that provide outpatient services to these veterans to help cut down on some of the travel time. What's interesting about my career is that I went from an inner city office, a very urban office, to a hybrid county, which is half urban, half rural. So now I've got a perspective of the different needs of, let's say, the urban veteran to one who's living in a rural community. There are great challenges, and what's nice about the association is that we get to share this information with our peers because veterans are transient. They move from one county to another. It's just our nature sometimes. So we have to be able to understand where they're coming from and help deliver our services to meet that veteran's need.
So basically, it's a strong county system, and people focus on their population and their veteran population and make sure that those needs are addressed county by county.
Absolutely. And with our interaction with the National Association and through contact with our peers across the country, I come to believe that Minnesota actually is probably the best system in place for that. As far as the training is concerned, we were close to that. We were ahead of the game in a lot of areas. Now we have a good solid base to start from. And our interaction not only with the national service officers who assist us in claims work and the VA regional offices and the medical center, our relationships all throughout that system are unique to anywhere else in the country.
They're, in Minnesota, they could be characterized as collaborative, and they're not adversarial. In some places, everybody defends their turf.
Absolutely. And that's why I think we, as a state, are more successful in our claims delivery and obtaining the maximum amount of benefits for our veterans that they've earned.
Very good. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the unique things in your county, because I know you've had a significant number of veterans who've been deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan and come back, and why don't you just tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. My county is unique where we don't have an armory. However, we do have a large population of National Guardsmen who have been deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. The numbers coming back here in the next few months from Iraq are significantly high in my county. Right now we have about 10,000 veterans in our county, and that's just going to get larger in the next couple of years. Our goal is to make sure that our outreach efforts are sufficient to reach all of them, and that our staffing levels are up to speed to make sure that we're available to the veteran whenever they need it. We will do things like flex hours to make sure if they're coming back to work, they don't want to take time off from their job again. We're available after hours to help serve their needs. We work with the community organizations, we work with the service orgs, and the good news is that our South of the River Beyond the Yellow Ribbon group just was informed that in the end of March they're going to get their official proclamation. So they've been very successful. It's been about 2.5 years for them working on that project. So.
Very good. Now, we've touched on the fact of people coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, and I know approximately June we've got a big group of approximately 2,600 National Guard troops who will be coming back. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what the Minnesota Association of County Veteran Service Officers does with people returning from Iraq or Afghanistan?
Absolutely. We're unique. At the time, the adjutant, General Shellito, with the Minnesota National Guard, he created the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon program, which involved reintegration. The County Veteran Service Officers, as an association, this is everybody involved in the state, we get involved in the demobilization process. We actually go out to the demob site. We're meeting them literally as they're coming off the aircraft.
So you'll go down to Fort McCoy, Wisconsin?
Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. We'll go in teams and shifts. And the first thing that we're going to do is make sure, guarantee that they're enrolled in the VA healthcare system. Every soldier in the National Guard who has served is enrolled.
And a little fact about that, in 2007, when our association started to meet the returnees at the demobilization sites, 3 out of 10 Guard and Reserve troops coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan were enrolled in VA healthcare. In Minnesota, today, 99% of our Minnesota National Guard are enrolled in VA healthcare. And as taxpayers and as citizens, the fact that they are getting healthcare at the VA is paying for it, and that when they come back, that if they have post-traumatic stress disorder, if they have other conditions that are related to their service in Iraq or Afghanistan, they're being addressed by the VA. They're more easily recognized because they deal with people who have come back from combat and military service, and it's a win-win for our state because they're getting the services they need.
Absolutely, and the other benefit too is that we're getting these young men and women right after they've exited the combat zone. So when we start looking at service-connected disabilities, they've been through demobilization physicals, they know some of the issues that they're dealing with now, and we're able to kind of get their thought process on, okay, these are some of the things you're having now. Well, let's get these down on a sheet. And what's nice is that we actually make some notes and we inform the CVSO, the county that they live in, that they're back and that these are some of the issues they were dealing with. So when they come into the office, we're able to really get to the heart of that, because most of these guys, after 2 or 3 weeks, they're just happy to be home. They've stopped thinking about these issues. They're looking forward. So
right. In the time we have left, I know there's a legislative initiative to expand the state GI Bill, which is a last dollar out program, to include all veterans and not just post 9/11 veterans. And as I understand it, Minnesota has the third highest rate of unemployment for returning veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan, and we have above average unemployment for veterans. So this is something that the association is supporting?
Absolutely, we're behind it 100%. It's a great modification of a program that I think served our community well. What happened is that not all the money that was budgeted was used for the program. So by expanding it, we're able to capture the 40 and the 50-year-old guys who've been laid off, don't have any school benefits left, and now they can get that retraining.
So they could build their skills and become job ready.
Absolutely.
Well, Todd, I want to thank you for participating in America Salutes and informing our listening audience about what you do and what the Association of County Veteran Service Officers do. And I want to thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you, Mel. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd.